Alright, what up, y'all? So we are back at it with part 3 of the Legend Run. I'm, believe it or not, going to keep going with Unholy Aggro. I think my strategy that I've used, I think I've used it the last 3 or 4 months, and it's been fairly consistent in the results. But my strategy is generally to go aggressive deck until I get to about Platinum or Diamond. Usually somewhere around Platinum is where you start to see a difference. And then from there, you can use something that's a little bit more fine-tuned for the metagame.
The Lich King versus Leandrin.
My blade burns with holy fire.
Alright, Paladin is very likely to be Aura Paladin, which can be a tough matchup because they've got a couple different effects that deal 2 or 3 damage to my minions. So that can be tough to deal with. However, there is still a decent chance for me because this deck is very aggressive. Keeping Falric is okay. I generally like Falric a lot because doubling the amount of corpses you get is really powerful with this deck, considering you want 5 for Grave Strength, as well as, you know, these types of cards as well. Yeah, let's do this. Alright, so kind of a mediocre hand if I'm being honest here. Mosquito's the only 1-drop you don't want to have by itself. Remnant of Rage, don't want for a while. Grave Strength, don't want for a while. So, we'll see here. This is probably the kind of hand that an Aura Paladin wants me to have, because it's a little slow and gives them the ability to kind of stabilize the board, get some tempo going, and just be ready to drop some AoE effects. So, let's see.
To speak.
Okay, awkward draw. Yeah, hard to justify playing anything there. Like, there's no point in playing Mosquito if I don't have anything I'm going to play on turn 2 at least. Like, you could make a curve out of, like, turn 1 Mosquito, turn 2 Maze Guide, you know, something like that. But if all I've got is, like, this, or even like Coin Falric, that's just really weak. Jeez, I'm drawing terribly this game. Okay. That's the way it goes, though. You could make a case for Coin Falric that turn, but with no minions and really no pressure from them, I think it's fine to just kind of try and find a way to set this up a little bit better. Ooh. You don't see this very often. And they didn't even use it. How crazy. Alright, we're going to do Falric. And next turn, I'm going to do Swarmguard and then Coin Mosquito. That feels like a decent use of Mosquito, and I love Swarmguard. Swarmguard in this deck is very good. The fact that they have Taunt gives you a little bit of protection for other things, obviously like Mosquito, and just gives you so many more options. I'm surprised. Okay. Sure, I'm totally okay with that. That's way better than just waiting a single turn. They're going to be very unhappy seeing this now.
You will pay for that, cur.
Alright, we're just going to do this then. They should have waited 1 turn. What are you going to do?
Make no mistakes.
Oh my god, they've got double flight maneuvers in their hand. One of which looks very close to combining. So this could be a little tough to get through, but I've got a lot of crazy things in my hand. Like, Last Stand is very good. So if I have 3 or more minions on the board next turn, I'm tempted to just play it. normally this gives you a good amount of advantage that helps you push through to the turns where you're just like, you know, Shadows of Yesterday, Chow Down, stuff like that.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, I think this was a key point there. Had they, you know, just held on to that until it was good to drop it. I think they used it just because their acceleration aura was going to lapse. But I don't think that's a good enough reason to use it. It could be so much more useful with the proper timing. Let's see. I think Last Stand is the play here. That seems really solid. Kind of hard not to. What does that give me? Oh boy, it gives me this guy. That's okay. That's a little rough. So this gives us a Doomsayer when it dies, which that could mess with our strategy here. So we do have to be careful of that. But it is a 7/4. So as long as we keep it protected, I think we'll be okay. Ooh, they got another that doesn't work. Oops. I wonder what they thought was going to happen there. Oops. And it triggers twice. Oh my god. That's rough. Okay. I think poor Buddy just misplayed a little bit, and that might cost the game here. Alright, so it looks like we're going to Grave Strength, and I think that's the win. So this is 12, plus 8 is 20. Yeah, we've definitely got him. We might as well do that too.
Conquer in my name.
Alright, so Aura Paladin has been taken down. And I'm still a little uncertain if Aura Paladin is really that good in the metagame, but the data seems to say that it is. My personal experience hasn't aligned with that, so let's see how we can do in some other games. Alright, who do we got?
The Lich King versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
Alright, another Paladin. Fun times.
Stop me then. You will not stop me now.
And I think the last game I played of part 2 of this Legend run was a win, so if I win this, I've got a win streak, which would be fantastic. Tempted to keep Grave Strength, but I don't think it's the right call. I think we just need to build up a board, build some corpses, and then we can get to it with either some of our card draw, Falric, stuff like that. Yeah, I think this is fine. And again, just like I was saying on the last game, you do have to be conscious of Manifested Timeways, Scale Breaker, sometimes Consecration. There are quite a few things that Paladin has that could just mess up the game plan, so we want to be careful not to overextend, but make sure we put enough pressure that we can actually finish this game out quickly. Maze Guide is normally the right call. I like Brightwing. Brightwing is a pretty cool card. I wish that it saw some play in Dragon decks, but it's just doesn't make the cut normally. So it is what it is. All right. I think I am actually going to Brightwing because Manifested Timeways next turn would be really annoying. If I like Maze Guide, they do that. It's not the end of the world, but I think, especially considering this gives me another card to work with. Ooh, that's a good card. No use in this deck outside of the draw, but I'll take it.
Calling for reinforcements.
I'm totally okay with that. I think that not only cuts the advantage they would get off of this, but also starts building up some corpses, which way I will definitely need in the later turns. Question is, do I Living Paradox or Reluctant Wrangler? I kind of like Wrangler because it's got these recursive elements. It's got Reborn and it makes a 2/2. Paradox could bait out a Manifested Time Waste if they have one, though, which I think would be good to get out of the way. Because then I can do stuff like double Maze Guide, you know, just start going wide if I can get one out the way. Yeah, I'm gonna see what happens here. I have this feeling they got one. Alright, maybe they don't. Sometimes your gut is wrong. Grave Strength, very nice. Alright, I think the choice here is to go wide. Double Maze Guide. And then next turn we've got Grave Strength, obviously. Oh, that turns into a 5-drop next turn. I guess that's fine. I do need 2 more corpses for Grave Strength to be live. So I'm thinking I attack the Nightmare Lord. It's not great, but it does give me control of this board. And I do have the option of Pterrordax next turn if that's a better play than Grave Strength, I suppose. Alright, so Manifested Time Waste is off the table now. Well, okay, back on the table. There we go. I had this feeling. I was like, I think they've got one. Alright, they did. They waited patiently, and that was the smart thing to do. That's very fair. But this is why I felt okay going wide, even if they had Time Waste, because I had this. And double Wind Fury is really nice, especially considering I have Grave Strength. However, yeah, you know what? I think that's okay, because I will probably end up keeping one. They're probably going to take out one of them. And hey, if they've got another Manifested Time Waste, it just isn't meant to be, and that's fine. I'm very tempted to rewind, but I don't think logically I can do so. I'm very tempted to throw this guy out there. It gives me another body to attack with next turn, but it does mean I have to attack something. Nah, we're gonna save it. Yeah, a lot of this deck is like, okay, what am I playing around, and how reasonable is it to play around it? Ooh, this could be great, yeah. Sure.
Lost to die. Eons wither away.
Actually, I think we do this. Because this takes out that. And then this is 24. Bingo bongo. 2-0. And that should be win streak. Boom. Very nice. Alright, up into Platinum 8. So now this is where I definitely start contemplating if I end up changing decks or not. But so you're going to have to pay very close attention to what we're playing against and how the metagame at each kind of level is shifting a little bit.
The Lich King versus Jaina.
I will never be mad to play against Mage. I like Mage. I think it's got a lot of really cool cards right now. But the stats for Mage are horrendous. Just actually horrendous. So I never mind playing against them. I really wish Mage was better. I think there's a lot of cool things you can do in that class right now, but none of them are extremely competitive at the moment, which makes me a little sad, but that is the way it goes. In order for some classes to be powerful, others have to be weak. It's just the nature of the game. Oh, Quest Mage is interesting. Kind of hard not to play a 2-mana 4/4. So I could just go Living Paradox into Swarmguard, hoping that we draw Grave Strength at some point. We do have to be conscious of Arcane Flow, but we'll get a heads up before they get that because it is a Shatter card. Other than Arcane Flow, I think Arcane Barrage, and I think Sleet Storm are the only other cards that deal like damage to multiple things for one spell. So Arcane Flow really the only one that's worth playing around, I think. But like I said, we'll know, so it should be pretty easy to play around that, unless they just get lucky and draw at the turn that they need it. So it is what it is. And for all I know, they're just going to be trying to discover cards and get lucky rather than actually playing solid removal. This could go a lot of different directions. I've always found that the Discover Mage decks, their gameplay really depends on the quality of the Discovers. So if they're not discovering powerful cards, they're not getting good stuff off of each of those abilities, then they kind of lose steam pretty quickly, because it's nice to be discovering cards and replacing the stuff in your hand with other things, but if you're not replacing it with reasonable cards that are, you know, worth playing, then you're just getting cards for the sake of cards, which is not exactly where you want to be. Alright, so this is great. A great position into next turn, because Last Stand could just seal the deal here. As long as they don't clear this board, Last Stand is going to make sure that we pretty much can't lose unless they draw the actual nuts. Yeah, looks like we're super fine. I'd rather have Grave Strength here, but hey, Last Stand is very powerful nonetheless. Fair enough. Ooh, look at that. Well, we're definitely doing this. Super rar. Yeah, my only complaint about this Death Knight deck is you're just playing dudes and attacking. There's not really too much crazy stuff going on with it. It's a very good deck. It's a very budget deck. Which I think is good to have in the metagame. If you don't have good decks that are also budget, then it does kind of push out some players from being competitive in the metagame, which I think is not healthy for the metagame. But yeah, kind of a boring deck to play, if I'm being perfectly honest. You can master this deck in an afternoon, probably. Like, just being straight. Which I think is still good for the metagame. Again, you want things that people can play and understand well, but I like to be a little bit more interactive. Which is kind of funny, because, you know, the Quest Mage is essentially just playing with himself, and I'm over here just essentially playing with myself, trying to put together the right board to take them out. Let's do this first so it doesn't hit the little guy. And I think they are dead. Alright, 3-0 after 3 games. This is how it goes. Play dudes, attack with dudes. That was actually quite literally just playing dudes and attacking with them. No pumps except for that very last turn, but like... yeah, the most basic possible. Show me that win streak. Ooh, baby. Stars galore. Alright, Platinum 5. Doing good. Let's see what else we can get done.
The Lich King.
A Demon Hunter. Okay.
I make my own.
It is very likely this is spell Demon Hunter. There goes my dog. Okay. He thinks it's dinner time, but it is in fact not dinner time. Every time is dinner time to him. I wish life was that simple for us. You're just like, are you feeding me? Okay, or is it nap time? One of the two. Maze Guide into Falric seems fine. It's nothing amazing, but it is fine. Yeah, Moonjockey, my dog's name is Charlie. He is a Chihuahua. He's, believe it or not, he's turning 17 this year. He's a little black and white Chihuahua. Used to be all black and brown, but the brown is now white. Alright, so Murmy was a great draw. Now we can get a good curve going here. Ooh. Yeah, Charlie is a very spoiled dog. He is living the life. I think Maze Guide is the play here so that Mosquito is live next turn. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, Charlie's the most spoiled dog possible. Like, we make his food from scratch. I literally, like, boil chicken and veggies and rice and put it together for him. I've had dogs my entire life, and they... I remember years ago, I actually had a cat who got, like, kidney failure from an issue with the kibble that we were buying her. And that just, like, was daggers to the heart. So that planted the seed, and then after a while, we found out our dog Charlie has kidney disease, and we were like, okay, well, we got to make sure he gets the best possible, so... Not everybody can do it, you know? Some people are like, oh, you do all that for your dog? And I'm like, yeah, I do, because I can. And, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I'm preparing for the children that I want to have in the future, you know? You give them the life that you can, the best to your ability, and that's about all you can do. I think... This is a tough one here. Because I think I do Hero Power... I don't want to lose the Mosquito, though.
Death calls.
So if I go Hero Power, I can take out the 3/3. I'm not sure that's really the right play here, though. Like, I need to gain some advantage on the board.
But little time.
This guy could be okay. Yeah, I don't like throwing out the Mosquito, but I think I probably should here and just get this board going. Yeah, dogs are definitely family. Yeah, it's, yeah, I've had dogs my entire life, too, so they've always felt like family. It's always funny when people are like, oh, your dog is like your baby. It's like... I mean, yeah, he gets treated like it at least. Like, so funny. Ooh, okay. That was mean. That was, all right, that was well done.
You are prepared for wars to come.
Very lucky draw, but oh my god, that was a brutal turn. I could actually just go Hero Power, take this guy out, and see what they've got.
My
Let's see, what else is Spell Demon Hunter going to be doing? They can make Dormant Dread Seeds. They've got Solitude. I don't think as far as aggression goes I should be super worried. Yeah, I think this is better than Swarmguard, because I think if I go Swarmguard, they're much more likely to take out at least 2 of them. And I'd like for the minion dying to happen on my turn, so that I can Remnant of Rage, at least get some value off of my minions, past their actual attacks. So we'll see here. Falric might also be the play. It is always funny to me. Falric is incredibly close to Phallic. He is Falric. Alright, what do we got? Oosh. Alright, Last Stand, not bad. Could come in handy, but yeah, this is crazy. A 7/2 for 1 mana off of that. Well, looks like I'm probably just taking 7 then, which is the way it goes. Ooh, we get a Pterrordax. We're not taking 7. Forget that. Oh no. We are not taking 7. Yes, please. Okay, then. They got some decent minions off of that Solitude. Yeah, this is kind of a tough spot here, because the longer I sit around, the better it is for them. But I don't want to play minions for the sake of playing them. You know, like if I just play Swarmguard, they can take out 2 of them, and that doesn't exactly benefit me very much. I don't know how long I can reasonably sit around here and kind of wait for the right hand or the right cards to go, so... Yeah, I don't know how long I can reasonably sit around and wait, so I'm just going to start throwing some stuff out there, but it feels like the wrong thing to do. It just... It's a very weird balance of, like, you know, trying to find the perfect setup on the board, but also, like, any setup is still better than nothing. So if I can survive into next turn with 2 or more minions, that would be ideal, but I don't think I'm going to have more than 2. Probably only going to have 1 is my guess. Oh, okay. Sure. Alright, I legitimately don't think we can win now. This is... Yeah, this is actually just stupid. Take 1. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Yeah, this is what I don't like about Spell Demon Hunter. It's a pretty, in my opinion, mediocre deck, but sometimes Eternal Hold just wins the game by itself. It's a really incredible card, and sometimes it'll just give you stuff like this that costs 0. So, and I've played the deck. I think it's interesting. I think it's cool, but it just doesn't seem very good outside of the occasional, you know, lucky streak that you get with stuff like that. Or sometimes Solitude will give you some really sweet minions, and you're like, oh yeah, how do you lose? But if you can't rely on that, then it's not going to be a consistent deck. So I'm hoping we get better tools for this in the future, because I like Demon Hunter a lot as a class. It's a very cool class with a lot of interesting cards. Sure.
No matter when we are, nature holds true.
What is that? Oh, sure. We've got 17 corpses. We can cast about 3 grave strengths. And of course they have infestation. Sure, sure. What class is the worst in my opinion? That's a great question. Last I looked, according to the numbers, Priest is one of the worst class. Because I don't think there's any Priest decks at the moment that have a win rate over 50%. I think, what is it? Heal Priest is getting more popular, but I don't think it's got the numbers to support it yet. They still got to fine-tune the deck list. Chow Down seems great here. And that's exactly why I don't scoop, is because Chow Down sometimes will just save the day. After you cast a spell on a minion, draw a card. Well, that's not going to happen, so we're going to do this. And this. But I want to say Priest is probably the worst. But I like Priest a lot. I think there's a lot of good things going on with Priest. Yeah, this metagame's really awkward, because I don't think the way that the metagame looks now is how the metagame's going to settle. I think there are a lot of underexplored things as far as like card combinations and stuff. Trying to think of what else. So Warrior, Shaman is decent. Warrior's great. I think Warrior is by far the best class. They've got multiple archetypes that are great with great win rates. Rogue is also kind of underwhelming in terms of power level. I think Priest is the worst and Rogue is probably second worst. What else is there though? Druid's amazing. Death Knight is actually pretty underwhelming in power level. This deck that I'm playing is actually the best Death Knight deck by the numbers right now, sadly. It's just a straight super aggro deck. Okay, well, that was unfortunate. They just got rid of all my Chow Down minions. Yeah, I really want Priest to be good, but I don't think there's anything we can do right now outside of just keep exploring card combinations. Like, I want Egg Priest to be great. Oh my god. That was lucky. Alright, we're still in this game. We're still in this game. What else is there? I mean, Paladin is an interesting one, because I think Paladin is very underpowered compared to the good classes in this metagame. Like, I don't think Paladin is as good as people think it is. Because, to be perfectly honest, I've played Aura Paladin. I've played pretty much every Paladin deck that has come across my internet feed or deck list channels, and none of them seem to be good enough that I'm like, I want to play this, I need to play this in the metagame. They all feel like, okay, this has probably a decent matchup to X, Y, and Z decks, but overall it just doesn't seem like the strong pick in a metagame. It's very fascinating. It's a very interesting metagame right now. And seeing the way that it's evolved over the last couple of weeks is crazy. I think it's been 2.5 weeks since Cataclysm came out. And we've already got card changes yesterday. Like, very, very interesting developments. Man. They are just handling this. And we're drawing hot. Okay. What do we got? One with Rush. So 1, 2, 3. So if I kept this, I could attack one of these and attack one of these. That would make this cost 4, and I could play it. I think I'm going to keep this just on the off chance that I don't get a Rush minion on the rewind. So we might as well get this value here into a Wrangler and a Whelp. Okay. Yeah, that was a great set of draws. I don't think I could have asked for better draws. Double Chow Down into Shadows of Tomorrow. Really lucky. do we got? Please don't be crazy. Oh my god, the suspense. The suspense is killing me.
Time grows short.
Okay, that's actually not that bad. Come on, show me Grave Strength off the top right here. One time. One time Grave Strength. Just take it down would be incredible. Alright. It's a baby Grave Strength. I mean... Okay, so I've got 11 here. 12 with this. That puts him at 7. I think I just dump my hand and hope for the best here. I don't think I have really any other options. Ooh, that's not bad. Each time the enemy hero took damage this turn. That's great. So we can go like this. We're going to hit him 12. And I only have space for one more minion, so it's going to have to be the coyote, I guess. The coyote. As much as I want mosquito, I don't think it's necessary here, so... Yeah, this guy being a stealth minion also makes it so I have a way to kind of sneak some damage in next turn. This and hero power puts him to 1, so mosquito would have been amazing. Would have pumped this guy, and then I would have had lethal next turn, even if they cleared out all these other guys. But not the way it goes. Hiya, with the immune, you guys. Yeah, this is kind of an annoying matchup. I think they have quite a few cards that are very good against this deck.
Short.
Alright, what are we doing here? Okay. Ooh, with a Sigil of Cinder? Hello. Double Sigil? Bro. That's not cool. That's very mean. Okay, so... a little awkward. So I'm definitely going to last stand. We're going to have to do this. So we're going to go that guy there, these two to these two. And I think I just play... yeah, I can just play everything else. That's the way it goes. Yeah, it's a bummer I have to do this. Come on, give me something good. It is not good. Alright. Something good? Come on. Nope. Come on. Now that is helpful. I like that. That's going to make a copy every turn, and I got plenty of corpses to go around. 22 corpses left. That'll copy every turn for 4. Amazing. This is a pretty crazy game. I'm very surprised I'm still in this. They've got 3 cards left in their deck. I was just wondering, where's Broxigar? Okay, no more cards. I don't think they've used really many portals to Broxigar, though. So I guess they can cycle through those pretty quickly here, but in that time, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm able to take them out. Because that doesn't draw them a portal here. Yeah, there we go. Took it down. Very surprising, but that's one reason that I am okay with playing this deck. Normally I wouldn't play a deck like this that's just like play dudes and attack, but because of stuff like Chow Down and Last Stand and all that, I think this deck has some other elements that give it some real competitive capabilities. And that helps us retain the win streak. And there we go, Platinum 3. Let's go.
The Lich King.
Okay. Shaman should be interesting. I haven't played against Shaman since the card changes, so let's see how good they are. If you remember correctly, the only card changes were Skywall Sentinel becoming a 0/2 instead of a 0/3, and Flight of the Firehawk going to +1/+1 instead of +2/+2. So I don't think they'll make a ton of difference, but hey, maybe it's the little boost that we need to take him down faster. I don't hate this hand. I think it's reasonable to keep, but I am a little hesitant at the Grave Strength. I think I'm going to keep it just because Swarmguard is really fantastic, and I think it's reasonable to draw, draw something else that's either a 1-drop or like Maze Guide. I'm tempted to coin Maze Guide here. I think it is the play. Perfect. I was just thinking, like, this would be perfect if I got, like, a 3-attack guy. Makes it easy to either trade or take this guy out. And, yeah, this is... Alright, Skywall Sentinel being very annoying, as he normally does. I don't know that it's ever correct to get anything else on this except for the Death Rattle. Divine Shield, fine. 3-attack, I guess okay, but normally just making more dudes is the best call. Whoo, boy. Look at them go. Yeah, I'm totally okay with that trade. I'm surprised they didn't hit face with that. Very interesting choices. I don't think I can justify this, even though I've got Swarmguard. I think the chances of this dying and just having no effect is high enough. They did use both of their little Breezeling guys with Rush. 4 means they could play Elise or Nightmare Lord. Yeah, I just don't think it's worth it. Yeah, because that also could happen. This is a tough one here.
My rule is eternal.
Yeah, this is a really tough turn because I think it's probably fine just to throw out Carrier Whelp, but I don't know, Swarmguard just seems a little loose.
I have but little time.
Yeah, this is not my favorite play, but I feel kind of obligated to do this. If for whatever reason I have 2 or more of these, I probably last stand, but yeah, like... Yeah, Shaman can very easily take advantage of this situation. And here we are, just dead. Because that's 12. Yeah, they've got more than enough to take me out. Wow. Yeah, that was well played. Nothing I can do in that case. Well, Herald Shaman, still a very good deck. Who would have thought?
The Lich King!
Always happy to play against a mage. Let's go.
Give me a few more minutes.
And this hand looks awesome. Hard to throw this away.
In death.
Nice. It's a good card. Love me some lightning bolt. This is shaping up nicely. Into a maze guide, okay. I think Falric is the play here because that could draw Grave Strength. It's very common to do that. Yeah, alright.
Follow the Flutterwings!
Okay, so Imbue Mage kind of weird. Not sure how good that actually is against me.
Death calls.
Very tempted to use this lightning bolt.
My rule is eternal.
Yeah, you know what? I've got double corpses here, so it's kind of hard not to use them. So we're going to do that, and I think I will... I don't want to, but I think I'm going to use the lightning bolt here. Literally just gave my dog dinner, and he's looking around the entire house for more food. It's just ridiculous. So ideally on this turn, I would like to Swarmguard and Mosquito, but I have the one overloaded mana crystal from Lightning Bolt, so Swarmguard is fine. I'm thinking honestly about Maze Guide and Ancient Raptor, because Ancient Raptor gives me a little insurance if they do start trying to take out some minions. At least I get the Death Rattle, get some guys back. So I think that is the route I will go here.
That one needs more time.
Okay, okay. Sorry, he's tired. Of course, of all things, they hit that. Of course. And I think I can outpower that Eternal Firebolt. Very good card, but...
You shall suffer.
Cool. I think we Mosquito. And let's see, I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 attack, 12 with this, and then I'll add another 5 with Mosquito, so I think we're good here. I was thinking about whether or not I want to drop Pterrordax, but I don't think it's warranted. That's a card. Okay. Do we got him here? I think we do. 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Very close. Alright, so I guess Pterrordax would give us lethal here, but that's fine.
Death calls.
I think it's more valuable to have a Swarmguard than to use this. Yeah, kind of hard to imagine I lose this game, but crazier things have happened. But having access to Chow Down is, I think, pretty good here. Ooh. Okay. Well, we still got him, but that was pretty good. One of the better things they could have done there, I guess. Alright, so 5 and 1. Continuing to make progress.
The Lich King!
Okay, we got a rogue.
Behold, power beyond your comprehension.
All will serve me in death.
Sometimes you can make a case for keeping Last Stand, but I don't think this is one of those cases. Nice. So if I had Maze Guide, I might be able to justify Mosquito. Or maybe I go Maze Guide turn 1, Mosquito into turn 2? I think I'm going to chance Mosquito here just because a coin into Swarmguard next turn would be pretty dope. It does seem like a big risk, though. Maybe this is better. I think this is better. Yeah, there's been so many times where I just went on that chance and they just had exactly what they needed to have, so it's a little tough not to play it safe in most of these situations. Oh, good old Maniacal Follower. This guy just moved up to a 4-1 from a 3-1, which I'm not sure how crazy that really makes this card, but we'll find out.
Get down!
I remember this place well.
Well, I think we're gonna just do this. I could have hit the Elise, and that would have given me 2 minions off of this. I would have got the Reborn copy and a 2/2 taunt. But I think I'm going to play it safe there, trying to, you know, keep those resources just in case it comes in handy later. Because doing cute things like that sometimes will give you an edge, but sometimes they just waste your resources when you really... Oh my god. Sometimes it wastes resources when you know, could take advantage of that later. That was an insane turn. Okay. So, yeah, Rite of Twilight did some work for them there. Next turn we're going to Shadows of Yesterday, which should help us with some tempo here. I'm thinking I trade this with the Elise. I don't love it, though.
My rule is eternal.
Shoo! 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 Get down!
I have but little time.
You know, we're going to do Remnant of Rage, I think. I think that's the better play here. Ooh, or you know what? Actually, I'm going to do this. Alright, didn't get to choose, but we got an extra minion out of it. That worked out nicely. So could potentially Grave Strength next turn if it's right, but yeah, very unlikely. Especially with the Terror Run.
Get down!
Alright, sure. Okay, so if that is a counterspell, that's really bad. But there's only one way to find out in this situation, and that's to play a spell. So I think it is worth, because they have no board. If they had a board, I would not play a spell into this, I don't think. But because they have no board, and this isn't active next turn, I think it is reasonable to test this with Shadows of Yesterday, because if that is not a counterspell, this gives me so much value. Yes! Okay. Alright, good. 3 of them with Rush. None with Wind Fury. I think we're going to rewind that then.
Job's done.
And what does it give us? Oh, Flames of Infinity. Okay, that's fine. But we've got 2 of them with Rush, so Grave Strength could be very helpful. All of them with Elusive is snazzy. I like that. Bro! Come on! They just got everything. I just want a Grave Strength on principle to hit him a couple times. Yeah, we gotta carry a Whelp. Well, Carrier Whelp is from the newest expansion, I guess, so...
Lost to die! Lost to die!
Yeah, might as well.
Nothing can prevent your end.
And if this doesn't get us somewhere, Chow Down next turn could be pretty awesome. And it's really difficult to play against Herald Rogue, because it can just be anything that they get off of their heralding. Like, this gives them a random spell from another class, so sometimes they get very lucky. It is a little similar to Discover Mage, where it's like it depends on the quality of your discovers. But because this also makes them cost less, they're getting a little bit more value. And Rogue just has a lot of very efficient cards. I'm a little surprised that Herald Rogue doesn't have a better win rate. Ooh, and then I draw King Lane. That's amazing timing. I want to play it just to be like, you missed me. But yeah, Chow Down I think is the right call here. Yeah, there's I don't think there's any way I can justify a play other than Chow Down. That uses 8 corpses. I'll have 8 left.
My rule is eternal.
Yeah, I don't think I can justify anything else.
I have but little time.
We're gonna do this just because that allows me to still have enough corpses for grave strength next turn. I mean, to be fair, this is lethal, but I expect them to kill at least a couple of these guys, so.
My brood will inherit this.
Oh. Sure. Why not? Okay, 1 down. Let's see what else they got. The next beast you play this turn costs 2 less, so 4 less. Oh god, double stellar balance? Doesn't look like they get everything from it, but yeah, Moonfire's pretty good there. Jeez. Well, when you get lucky, you get lucky. Those were all just incredibly good cards for that exact moment. Alright. What can you do? Yeah, alright. Might as well backstab too. You're stabbing my front, might as well stab my back. And I think this guy has charge. Yeah, it's got charge too. Like, this is just stupid. Yeah, crazy, crazy turn. Not sure if I can come back from that. Yay. Okay.
Join me in my eternal prison.
Shadows of Yesterday could be helpful, but they are going to get more cards this turn.
I am the end of everything.
Oh.
I am the cataclysm.
Okay, so normally I am a big proponent of playing it out. This game is over. The amount of value they've got, like, I have to stick minions and then stick Grave Strength. They've got insane value right now, and plus this, yeah, plus lethal on board. There's not really a way through this. Like, one with Taunt and Reborn is helpful, but I think we need multiple ones with Taunt if we have any chance. And even so, not sure that's going to make a difference.
time is now.
Yeah, I think we're just dead. Alright, fair enough. So 5-2 after 7 games is not bad. I'm starting to think this might be the area where I start changing up decks. Usually in the high platinums to diamonds is where that happens. Because the aggressive decks only take you about so far. But I'm going to play one more game, reassess, and then kind of see where we're at after that.
Lich King versus Leandrin.
Well, we've done well against
My
Paladin
blade
so
burns
far.
with holy fire.
Will serve me.
Don't know why this one would be any different. Command Claw's okay. Not amazing. Could be helpful to get rid of pesky little Righteous Protectors, things like that, but considering Mosquito is my 1-drop, I'm not sure. Living Paradox is definitely a keep. I feel like holding Living Paradox, I feel like I have to keep Mosquito here, but I'm not loving it, so we're gonna see where this takes me. Eesh. Into a Remnant of Rage, sure. Alright, fingers crossed we get something good for turn 2. A Maze Guide would be nice, but there are a variety of things that could help here. I'm totally okay with that. I love when people go coin Acceleration Aura. I feel like it's the worst play that you can do with Acceleration Aura. Yeah, normally it's just better to play Acceleration Aura on 2, because then you have a coin that you can use after that to get more mana. So if you use it, then if you use it to play the Acceleration Aura, like, yeah, now they just have an extra mana for no reason. Like, sure, they've got a 2-1, but, like, it's not very good. Let's do this. And do we go face here? We're actually going to do this with Mosquito. So now Living Paradox could be much better next turn, but it does... We are susceptible to Manifested Time Waste, but I think it's a risk worth taking here, so we'll see. Ah, fine. When they got it, they got it. All right. And... But hey, Manifested Time Waste against a board like that is much better than having it eat up a bunch of Living Paradox and other things, so I guess I'll be happy. Don't tell me they have another. They don't even have an aura, so there's no way. Like, Consecration? I think Scale Breaker costs 6. That was interesting attack choice by them. I'm surprised by that. That worked out nicely.
The exit is this way.
And no point in throwing down the Pterrordax. I think it'll be good to drop out there when they have something in the way. They might play there's a variety of things that could get in the way, but I mean, this guy alone, the chronological aura, could be the target. But right now we have Remnant of Rage, which can just continue to clear those guys out the way for 2 turns, while I try to set up a decent board for something like a Grave Strength. Alright, another aura. What else we got, bruh? We can do... So this will give us 4 minions.
Death calls.
Yeah, believe it or not, I like this because it allows me to hit them in the face. Do have one with Rush, thank goodness. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I was able to clear their board there. Because they have this, I need to be careful of like Scale Breaker or what's the other guy? Oh wow. Alright, fine. When you got it, you got it. Trying to think of what's the other guy. Nosdormu would be really bad with this, because that would give all of their minions Divine Shield and a bump. So that was like the worst case scenario in my opinion. Manifested Time Waste, it happens, we can play more guys, but Nosdormu would give them some really good board advantage. Oh, well look at that. They've played 2 Manifested Time Ways. I think this is fine. And there are quite a few things I can draw here. Chow Down, obviously the all-star that would be a great draw. Last Stand, also amazing, assuming I have a board. Another Shadows of Tomorrow would be fine also. So there are definitely some decent cards worth drawing, as well as the other Remnant of Rage. Remnant of Rage doing work this game, though.
I am time.
There he is.
But your time is up.
Ooh, okay. Alright, so they got a decent-sized board now. A little annoying, but I think we're going to be okay.
Dead end.
Rush is right.
Stay out of this! Stay out of this!
Alright, final little push. Let's see if we can make it. Because they can deal a bunch of damage here, but they're going to lose on the backswing. So they have to take out my minions if they're going to win this one. Alright, that's not bad. Gives them a little bit more time at least with the life.
Reporting for duty.
So I can do this a couple ways. Getting rid of Nosdormu is huge to begin with. I'm still at 30, so I'm not super concerned. However, you could make a case for, like, hitting this and this. I lose 2 more minions, though, is a problem. So if I pass the turn here, they probably smack 2 minions. Potentially have something else. I think I'm going to put the ball in their court. And Chow Down is just the best top deck ever in this deck. Scale Breaker's pretty good.
Reporting for duty.
That is pretty good. Perfect timing too, right at the end of that quest. Or aura, not quest, sorry. I guess. They gotta get a little lucky now. They have finally fought through it all. Yeah, the Scale Breaker, that was very, very great timing.
Calling for reinforcements.
Alright, one more chance. Show me something good. Chow Down? Boom! Grave Strength.
In my name.
Alright, well they got us. That was a very good mix. The Nosdormu was huge. Nosdormu with the Sand Fury aura, that's a huge, huge swing in the game there. We were able to push through a decent amount from there, but once they got to the Scale Breakers after that, yeah, that's too much. But that puts me at 5-3 in terms of this run of games here. So I think it's probably time to switch up decks a little bit. So I'm going to do some digging, kind of see what I want to play the most. I wouldn't be surprised if I end up at Herald Shaman. It's a very good deck, and I think it's got really good matchup across the board. Warrior also pretty high on my list. Shaman and Warrior are essentially the top 2 classes in my opinion. Druid, obviously very good, but I played some Imbued Druid earlier, and I just didn't really like the feel of it, and now we've got the card changes, so Imbued Druid a little bit worse than it used to be, so I'm probably leaning more towards Shaman, but I'll keep you guys posted and get some more games up ASAP. So peace and love. Thanks for watching. We are stopping here at Platinum 3 with 1 star, so next stop Legend.